Yeah, Maggie's gonna pull a Glenn. Not for the first time. Oh no, not Gage. Go Yumiko. Mercer. Eugene, just be honest. Okay, too honest. Oh, okay, Roy's still alive. Oh, no. Holy shit. Reaper's gonna reap. Oh man, what an episode. I think a little bit better than the first episode, but the first one was very good as well. The ending to this episode was just amazing, and the excitement for the next one is too much. Intense, crazy stuff is coming, and I really didn't think I'd be this hyped for the Reapers, who just seem like a random group of enemies that the showrunners threw in at the last minute. But now, the build up to them and the foreshadowing and everything that Maggie said about them, it's coming now. Well, in the next episode, we saw a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you got the Reapers ending, which was phenomenal, as I've just said. A lot of the Commonwealth stuff, still the same kind of comedy, humour, and we've finally done it, guys. We are actually in the Commonwealth. Well, not in it yet, but that's hopefully coming soon. Maybe in the next episode or the next episode. I don't know, there's just a lot going on, but it's great. There's so much to think about and look forward to. Maggie, of course, didn't die. Like, what a surprise. And I am really happy that they did. She obviously climbed underneath the train, or whatever you want to call it. And it was an obvious callback to how Glenn escaped his second to last death. And I love that. When she comes out and gets into the train, Negan from pretty much the beginning of the episode, looking around nervously, like I think he realised that he made a mistake, that someone was either going to work it out or that Maggie probably wasn't going to just lay down and take it. And yeah, I mean, he kind of gets away with it. It gets pretty tense for a little while, but then they're a bit distracted. Admittedly, there was a lot of other stuff going on. And with the how the episode ended, I kind of feel like a lot of Maggie's people are going to just be dead. So it seems that they've written them in just to be cannon fodder, which is fine. It's cool. And it also adds to, I mean, is it better for Negan or worse? Because there's going to be a lot less people around Maggie that desperately want him dead, but also it's going to put Maggie in this state of mind where she's lost even more, and I'm sure she will be able to find a way of blaming it on Negan, because who else is she really going to blame? And of course, you know, she let Gage die, which it's very easy to argue that they didn't need to sacrifice him. But he's a piece of shit, man. Just remember, all that character has done up until now. Literally the episode before, he ran off, abandoned them, took all the ammo and the supplies and whatever was involved in that. In the past, we've seen how he's been with Henry, just basically a delinquent. And then further on with Lydia, just the bullying and everything. And then it got pretty serious when Negan had to step in and save Lydia from Gage and his other little buddies. It's very questionable of how that would have gone with Lydia if Negan hadn't been there. And it seems that everything's fine, because Gage was allowed to go on the outing. He was part of the group. I don't know if he had any kind of punishment for that. Doesn't seem like it, but obviously now he has. Like, why would anyone care that she let him die? I would have done exactly the same thing. Why save someone who has literally only been bad for the group. Just a piece of shit. Who cares? Who cares about him? And then, of course, you've got Dog and Daryl going off on their little side quest. Seeing all like the graffiti and the artwork, which seems very foreshadowing of the Commonwealth. And they, in the comics at least, they've got a kind of class ranking system, quite similar to how the world is now, but it just kind of highlights the issues with that. So yeah, just a lot of foreshadowing and just symbolizing what's to come. Yumiko kind of kicks ass in this episode, which was really cool. Mercer as well gets a little bit more time to shine. And yeah, he's an intimidating guy, very intimidating. And then that follows Eugene to have a very, very comical monologue. And he actually avoids giving away that they have a large community. And they believe everything that he says because, yeah, I think he kind of gets too honest with a lot of it. But he does avoid mentioning Alexandria. He makes it seem like it was just their group and that he was pretending that they were from a larger community. But obviously, he's pretending that he's not from a larger community. We know he is from a pretty large community. And they all reunite at the end, which is great. Ezekiel is getting a little bit of treatment. So I feel like there's going to be... I mean, Yumiko's brother is a doctor. So maybe they're going to be the route to Ezekiel getting out of this alive. Whether or not he dies a little bit later on to add an extra bit of tragedy, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of character deaths. And of course, starting next episode, yeah. With the Reapers, they're going to be reaping. For sure. Yeah, so really cool Commonwealth stuff. Good Mercer scenes. Bit of comedy in there. It was obviously a very dark episode when Maggie's telling the story about the dude who has all of these victims locked away in his house. The mood there was very intense. And Maggie's trying to come across as someone who's pretty much just cold now. But I got the feeling that she's going to react and she's going to have her emotions when her group all starts dying one by one. So we'll see what happens. If that does happen, of course, they could get by totally unscathed. And the scene at the end with the Reapers attacking suddenly out of nowhere, I realised, of course, they take out Roy, like, immediately, even though he seemed to be like he was going to get away with it. He got pretty beaten up in the tunnels. I thought that he was dead then and there, and then you see him at the end, and then it's like, okay, he's alive, actually. He survived, and then arrow through the head. So, yeah. And then Cole, as well, gets hit by, I don't know, a throwing knife or something. His hand actually comes off. It severs his hand and then continues on into his leg. I thought that out of all of Maggie's friends, he would be one of the ones that might have survived until last. But given where he is now in this position, without a hand, you're going to be losing a lot of blood. And if you've actually still got to fight people, it's not looking good for him. And I don't think it's looking good for many of other friends of Maggie, because we've only just met them. It's not really a big deal for us if they die. We're not going to really cry about it. Negan, I'm sure he's going to be fine. I'm sure Maggie's going to be fine. Daryl's going to be fine. Father G. I'm going to talk a little bit about the trailer, and it's pretty much just confirming that I think a lot of deaths are going to happen. It's just whether or not we're going to get bigger characters dying, which at this point we don't really need to. I think later on we're going to get a lot more. Alden, he is, well, a bigger character than Maggie's friends, for sure. And if he died, it would kind of have a little bit more impact. So I'm questioning whether or not he's going to go. And in the trailer, from what I've seen, Gabriel is definitely going to execute someone. And we've seen his character just getting darker and darker after Gage dies in front of them, which is pretty gory death. Very cool to see. And I'm happy to see Gage dead, if you didn't already know, if I didn't make that clear. Alden says, oh, why don't you look at him, or why can't you look at him as a zombie, basically. And Gabriel, what does he say? He says, that's just a shell of a man, and who died a coward, basically. So pretty cold, but yeah, I totally agree. Why do you give a shit? Seriously. And people are calling him a kid. Gage isn't a child. He is responsible for his actions. He was an asshole. He was a piece of shit. And he's dead now. If it was like a better character begging for his life, I'm sure it would have been different. I'm sure Maggie wouldn't have just sacrificed someone for no good reason, but she wouldn't have known. Like, they might have had enough time to let him in. The door might not have closed properly behind them. It might have taken a little bit longer than they imagined, and one of her people could have got hurt. All for the sake of Gage. No, it's not worth it. If I was in the position, he's dead. Let me know what you guys think. I know there's a lot of people that are hating on her because of that decision. I think it's just because you want another excuse to hate Maggie. But, you know, leave your comments down below. And I'm really excited for the next one. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're looking forward to. And what do you guys think of the Reaper's introduction? And also, another one, who would like me to drop the review for the 3rd episode? Because I have that available now. And I was planning on obviously watching it early so that I don't get any spoilers. But I'm still not sure when I need to be releasing my content. If I release it early, if there's enough of you that want to comment and say that you would like to see the review earlier, then I'll do it. And of course, it will be there for people that watch it like the week later. That's still fine. I just don't know what's best. So let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Ta-ta!